Over the last month or so, millions of graduating high school students made a decision on where to go to college. And in so doing, most will also go deep into debt. There are more than 44 million borrowers out there with student loan debt in the U.S. now totaling more than $1.5 trillion with a T dollars. That's more than what Americans owe in credit cards, auto financing, or home equity loans.
Now, some presidential candidates are proposing solutions to fix the worsening debt problem. Atlantic writer Derek Thompson is here to talk about it. Derek, good morning.
Good morning.
I mean, we know the numbers are astounding just in saying that. Why are we going political with this? Why are the candidates getting in on this?
Well, number one, because the numbers are astounding. $1.5 trillion in debt, 44 million people. This is not a niche issue. I also think there's a bit of demand and supply here. Demand among the millennial generation, the largest generation in American history. They're voting more. In a few years, they're going to be the biggest voting segment in the American electorate. So issues that matter to them are going to come to the fore. Then you have supply. I think there's been an attitudinal shift among people running for president to say we're not going to think about policies in a technocratic way, about tweaking something over here, tweaking something over here. We're all about making huge, big statements about who we are. We're going to have a Green New Deal. We're going to break up the monopolies. We're going to make college tuition-free and eliminate student debt. That's the new style.
To that end, though, the affordability issue, I mean, you're saying that they have gone and they've targeted it in this manner. What's the overall hope that comes out of some of these plans to make college truly more affordable?
Well, let's look at the plans specifically. You have Bernie Sanders, who has said for years now, really has been leading the charge to make public education in the United States entirely debt-free. That has been his big calling card on education. Elizabeth Warren is going one step further. She's saying we should eliminate student debt for all these 44 million Americans up to $50,000. That would essentially eliminate student debt for 95% of Americans who have it. Those who owe over $50,000 often tend to be in graduate programs like law school or medical school. They tend to earn more after they graduate from these programs. So both of these policies would be absolutely mammoth attempts to restructure the way that we educate Americans and the way that Americans pay for that education.
The Warren plan would essentially pay for that with an ultra-millionaires tax, correct?
Yes, she would. I mean, not all of these plans have pay-fors, but Elizabeth Warren has been careful to at least offer some way of paying for this plan. So what she said essentially is, look, this is going to cost maybe up to $1 trillion. Where are you going to find $1 trillion? You're going to find them among people who earn $100 million or $1 billion.
Just for a second, let's talk about the significance of this overall debt, because it is, I mean, it's bigger than credit card debt. Only mortgage debt is bigger than it. The average graduate of the class of 2017 owes upwards of $28,000.
No, it's absolutely extraordinary. And this is a huge change. Americans didn't used to have all this student debt. It's like tripled in the last 10 years. And it's because of one very simple thing. Public education used to be funded publicly. States used to spend a lot more money on public education. As they spent less, families spent more, but middle-income families couldn't necessarily afford it, and so they had to go into debt to send their kids to college.
Real quickly, Derek, I mean, we're talking about candidates on the Democratic side. Anything from the White House along these lines? Because right now, there's a Republican in the White House.
Yeah, so the White House has not made this issue a priority. They've issued a white paper that says we're interested in finding ways to make it easier for people to consolidate their student debt, pay it off over time, and we'll forgive it if they make on-time payments for more than 15 years. At the same time, the Education Department itself has rolled back some Obama policies that made it more difficult for for-profit colleges to essentially screw their students out of their education, to lard them up with debt and then graduate them with an education that didn't give them a lot in the labor force. So they're sort of giving and taking at the same time.
And those percentage rates, that's the big issue.
Yes, exactly. What you want to do is to find a way to mandate that people pay a low percentage of their income over time, and then after a certain amount of time, eliminate it. That, or you just eliminate the debt entirely.
Affects almost everybody out there. Derek, thank you very much.
Thank you.